everybody. Welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is October 16th, 2016. Last night, I was a special guest on the Front Porch Radio Show on iHeartRadio. And ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to silence me. They do not want the truth to come out about Planet X. But I am delivering the truth. So stay tuned and listen to the broadcast. This will be a series of videos, so watch them all.
About 100 miles outside of Memphis. There was one day when, my family, they live out west, kind of out in the country, outside of Nashville. And there was one day when there was an apartment fire in North Nashville. So get the directions here. North of Nashville, there was an apartment fire, and then it just immediately after they reported that, there was a store in a little town called Pilgrim, Tennessee, that's west of Nashville, and it's a little historic store. I mean, it was like the first grocery store in that town, and they've kind of built a little chain of stores in with it. But that grocery store, witnesses said there was an explosion, the roof caved in, and then it caught fire. All right. Now, at the time, I didn't know any of these fires. But then, all of a sudden, my dad calls me up, and he's like, hey, the woods are on fire behind our house. And I'm like, what? I mean, there was no storms. It was a clear day, and the woods just caught fire. Well, that wasn't just their woods. There were two other field fires that were out even further west than where they live, where the fields just caught on fire for no reason. And when he called me about that, I turned on the news to see what was going on. And then that's when they was reporting that store in Pilgrim, and they were reporting that apartment fire in Nashville, North Nashville. And I just kind of got the map out as to where these, and it's a direct line. If you had just popped a chalk line from North Nashville at that angle, all of these fires were pretty much in that chalk line, and they all just happened at the same time. And I told my dad there, I said, that was a meteor. And I said, I bet the biggest part of that meteor is what hit that store, and then the fragments just went on west onto the ground and caught the grass on fire. I mean, it had to be for these fields out in the middle of nowhere just to catch fire simultaneously. You see what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
Okay. So with now that and this was a few years ago, this was before we really began to get, all these meteor sightings and meteors blowing up. We've been hearing about these houses. Like there was one in Indianapolis. There was one in Boston that just exploded for no reason. And they just guessed it was a gas explosion, I mean, these things are coming into the earth now, and they're blowing up houses. They're blowing up stores, catching fields on fire. And you're telling us that we've got more of these now that we're going to have to be watching for that are going to be coming in and doing these same things?
Well, it was predicted by some of these researchers that have been researching this for 30 years. I really hate to scare people, but I'm going on what they have said as far as the debris trail that follows behind Nibiru. And it is said to be over 1 million miles long. And that's why it is called the winged destroyer, because when it appears, it has these two big debris fields that come from each side that look like wings. It's depicted in all of the Sumerian tablets. It's even in Egyptian hieroglyphics. This eagle-winged sculpture. And we will pass through that debris field. We won't have direct contact with the planet. We will suffer it passing by us. And this debris field can last up to 5 years. Now, as far as the intensity goes of the meteors, I wish I could tell you, but I cannot. The size of these meteors or asteroids or debris, I can't tell you that. I wish I could. But that is going to be something that we will go through for 5 to 7 years. And it will be probably pretty intense at some points. The earth will already have slowed down, and, we won't have the earthquakes and the tsunamis and all of that beginning effect like we would when it's passing. But all of this debris that will be left in our atmosphere around the earth is probably going to be pretty intense. And if we make it through this, and that's going to be probably the worst part that we'll have to endure over time.
Yeah.
Is the meteors.
Well, the Bible says that the stars are going to fall from heaven like a fig tree casting its untimely figs. So, if we can look at a fig tree casting its untimely figs and the stars are going to be falling like that, we know at some point, we're going to have a volley of meteors falling all at the same time. And it kind of makes me wonder. Let me touch on this real quick, because when the red flag news commented on that no pilots to fly over parts of Montana on Saturday, the theory was rocket launches. Okay, it didn't specifically say rocket launches because there's a direct link back to the FFA website. Now, their link, Red Flag News, says that the Federal Aviation Administration has issued a notice to airmen restricting aircraft from certain areas of Montana on Saturday due to rocket launch activity. Now, I just went to the direct link at the FAA website, and I didn't see anything where it said due to rocket launch activity. All it says is operating restrictions and requirements. No pilots may operate any aircraft in the areas covered by this NOTAM except as described. I don't see anywhere other on the actual FFA or FAA website where it says due to. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, Scott, here we go. Yes, sir. The reason for the no flight is to provide a safe environment for Rocket Launch Act. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's. I'm sorry I missed that. I went to the FAA website and it was written in a different location. But yes, that is true. To provide a safe environment for Rocket Launch Act. Now, Saturday, October the 14th, which is today. No, it was yesterday. Wait a minute. This was issued. Anything from your sources about any rocket launches in Montana? Let me
No.
keep talking, and let me Google, see if they had any rocket launches in Montana.
No, I have not heard anything about that at all. Nothing. And as we are speaking right now, I have the magnetosphere up on my laptop, and we suffered some almost complete collapses. I'm looking at one right now that was at 1,400 hours, which would be what in military time? I think that would be 2 o'clock.
You say
2 p.m.
1,400?
Yeah, 1,400. 2 a.m. What is that? 2 a.m.
No, that's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. on the 14th. Almost another collapse. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at time lapsed from the 14th going into the 15th, where we're at right now.
Okay. All right, I'm on Big Sky Rocketry Association, Tripoli, Montana. And this link here was posted, it was posted on October the 2nd, but it says return to launch, 2-day launch, Friday, October 14th, and Saturday, October 15th. The Big Sky Rocketry Association is pleased to announce the end of Stage 1 restrictions for Madison County. This means we are able to begin planning launch dates again. We were unable to launch in August and September, so after some discussion, Big Sky Rocketry Association has decided to have a 2-day launch in October. Our scheduled launch for October was on the 15th, which is a Saturday. After receiving very limited feedback from our members, it appears that the preceding Friday works for the greatest number of people. Therefore, our October launch will be held on...
Ladies and gentlemen, you just listened to part 6 of the Nibiru channel on the Front Porch Radio Show, live on iHeartRadio. Stay tuned for part 7. I'd like to thank all of our Nibiru watchers. You guys do a fantastic job. Would also like to thank you for your loyal subscribership. You can continue to email your photographs and your video to NibiruPlanetX2016@gmail.com. And don't forget to share our videos with your friends and family members on Facebook. And subscribe to the Nibiru channel for all of our current updates. And like I always say, keep an eye in the sky.